Hey guys, alert. Shop assistant fought off armed robber with his labeling gun. So police are now looking for a man with a price on his head.
That's pretty good. All right, welcome to episode 46 of Bros, Bumps, and Beers. I am the EST of Triple P Pack Gagne. This is Matt Tooties Gagne, the producer Jordan, the Jackhammer Schofield, and North End James.
Nedge,
Ninja.
nitrous, engulfing, Jeep. I think that's the best one.
I think that's one.
That's the best
one.
one.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Call me whatever you want. I don't care anymore.
Oh, you spit. James, big sad. Big sad.
What happened?
Well, you see the hat he's currently wearing. I said, who
Unfortunate
wears a hat
turn
indoors? That's shocking to me. So, I mean,
I know a lot of people wear hats.
Yeah.
is it?
Why are you? I'm the only one not wearing a hat.
Yeah, that's true. I'm wearing a hat. That is true.
I don't think I don't
It's
see.
because I wear a Tuco there
I
at work.
honestly
and
don't see the three of you without hat. Like you guys wear hats more than you don't.
I'm going
Where
bald
I
also.
very
I'm
much.
the only one here going bald.
I rarely wear.
Since
Want to bet?
I mean, since I started dating Rianne, she's really pushed the. James tried to push this on me early on when in our friendship. It was
Drugs.
do your hair
Oh.
crowd.
Sorry.
He's like, I remember him getting. James won't remember, but I remember very like about 7 years
Was
ago.
it? Weren't you bald for the longest time?
Yeah, I used to buzz my hair, and
Oh,
then
me
I
too. Then
realized
you
the
grow-
potential that I had on top of my head.
But I remember.
No, it's true. You kind of grow into it.
As someone who is balding, that is offensive.
I remember
Sorry,
James being a little intoxicated and having a very serious talk with me. He's like, you know, Pat,
In the bathroom?
ever since I known you, you've had the same haircut. And it was like an attack on me. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, you know what? I have. Maybe I should change my hair up every once in a while.
Yeah, and then you started getting good hairstyles.
I
Do
have.
you guys ever get like worried though when you're gonna change your hair? Like, what if I don't like it?
Going to the barber may be the most terrifying thing I do in my life.
No.
My hair is not that long that I don't find that there's an impact. Oh, I don't like this shorter.
Yeah, but
haircut for a
James,
minute.
you get your haircut like 2 times a month.
Once
I go
a month.
once a
I
month.
used to go
yeah.
twice a
I
month.
go once.
You go once a month?
I go once
yeah,
a month.
Once a month. Yeah.
I gotta keep this fade nice
Yeah.
and
You
high
got,
and tight.
if you have an
man.
undercut, you have to go.
Is that what your hair is? An undercut?
if you have like long on the top and then your sides are buzzed down? Yeah, it's called an undercut.
Is that like a hipster style of a mullet?
No.
No. Very opposite.
Business
No,
on the top,
a hipster
serious
style
on the
of
side.
a mullet is a mullet.
Is a mullet.
Oh, okay. And you're a fade guy, James.
I'm a
what you're
fade
saying.
guy.
Do you go beard up?
Edge of the beard by the ears. She'll blend it in, as she says, and then yeah.
I do the same with my body.
And it's
too.
usually a 0 to a 1, 1.5, and then
That was maybe the most terrifying thing when I had to change who was doing my hair because
No, that's a bitch. That's a bitch when you have someone you're comfortable with.
No,
and then
but
all of a
you know
sudden
what it
now
was?
you
It
have
was
to
my
go with
uncle for
someone new.
years, and now I go see a different barber, and he's like in a barber shop, and they got sports memorabilia all over the walls. It feels like the most manly thing I do. And he was
Do
like,
you get a neck shave? Is that do
I
they do
do,
that?
I do.
Oh, that must. I've never
And-
had that done, but I hear it's legit.
and then he was like, "Hey, so what are we doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, what do you want me to do with your hair?" I don't know. Just cut it.
Didn't
bro.
you call my aren't you like a doctor? Don't you call my previous
What was
doctor
it
and
on
find
that
out what's
Big
going
Bang
on?
Theory, my haircut records.
Yeah.
no. When my hairdresser goes on holidays, so does my hair. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and he's like, "What do you want? A 1, a half?" I'm like, "Half what, man?"
Well, yeah, I know.
I don't know
see
what's
what you're
happening.
saying.
that's a science, man.
It is terrifying when you switch. When you
Anything.
switch, yeah. I had trouble getting a hairdresser when I first
Well,
got
Matt
her.
still goes and sees the same doctor we've had since
Doctor?
we were born.
You mean
Like a doctor.
hairdresser?
No, a doctor.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
moved to doctors.
Yeah.
That was sudden.
That was a nice
I was
transition.
like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Well, no, we're talking about changing. Matt still goes sees our, what is she, 5'2"?
If that.
5'2"
If you're a doctor,
Argentinian
yes,
doctor.
If your doctor isn't a miniature lady, then you're not doing it right. Because my doctor is also a small lady, and she is wonderful. We've had some awkward moments, but she's wonderful.
Who has a doctor? I don't have a doctor.
No, James.
I go to the doctor when I have a problem.
James on all his work forms with the doctor, the hospital.
The walk-in. I don't know.
All right. So hey, so a little to touch base on something. We are sort of a wrestling podcast. Matt and I both watched the A&E biography of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No, we're not a wrestling podcast anymore.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
We will always be.
Okay.
People don't
We're
forget.
definitely not a cocaine podcast.
So the
You know
bumps-
what?
Bumps has to stand for something.
We could be.
We got to back that up now.
We should.
Now,
we should change the name.
I just got. The only thing I want to bring up from it is, do you guys really remember how popular Stone Cold was?
no,
Yes.
I was
Yes.
too young.
Like watching that biography,
All
it's
I
been
wanted
said
was
before.
an Austin 316
Yeah,
shirt.
I still don't have one.
Okay, Matt, me too. But I'm saying I don't think we were old enough to understand like maybe the widespread
I understand
cultural
that he was
impact.
on every late night talk show. I
Yeah.
understand his ascension. I understand it now, but at the time, I understood he was a huge deal. I didn't understand how quickly he rose to prominence.
Because it's like no, but
But-
isn't it like when I think about if someone's a big deal, it's like right now I'm trying to think like it's like understanding the impact of who's like a stupidly I don't know the Paul brothers I guess maybe not the best example.
Kardashians.
Sure, Kardashians, but you know what I mean. Like someone who's like culturally
Hate them.
in your face all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what Stone Cold was, and I don't think I did not understand that level of social
I
impact.
think I've heard it somewhere. There's no way I made this up in my head, but like Hulk Hogan made wrestling, Stone Cold saved wrestling.
I heard made wrestling cool.
But that was the
made
thing.
it mainstream.
He saved it because it wasn't cool. It was at the bottom of its rope.
Okay, I see what
But
you're saying.
he was the
yeah.
Attitude Era, right? Like when you think of the Attitude Era, it's him and The Rock, right?
Yeah.
And what
Thank
more of an Attitude Era representative than
The
Stone
great
Cold,
one.
right?
You had The Rock and Stone Cold in the same generation. Never will you
Two
have.
of the coolest sons of bitches ever.
That's like Crosby Ovechkin. That's like that, right? That's like
And yet they never faced as much. They never faced each other as much as I wish they did.
3 times
three
in WrestleMania
matches.
is a
They got to
lot.
build to it. 3 matches.
Not enough.
Yeah, you know what?
No,
It's
I don't
just
think so.
amazing how like just watching it. We knew everything. Like there wasn't anything that really surprised me. Just the fact that he admits to not being a good dad, and like his daughters moved to England and they were from Texas and they developed English accents, and it destroyed him as a father.
No, even if you read his book, I'm sure most of us read his book.
Nope, never read his book.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good book. It's a good book. He copped a lot to like being a poor father. It is a good. It's probably like super cheap to get. Now it was a good read. I read it, and there was a lot of stuff in there that you might not know, but it was good.
Yeah, like just like the two groups or companies that do. There's 3, I guess. WWE itself do wrestling documentaries the best is A&E does great wrestling stuff. Like the biographies, I'll watch all the time.
I find them to be not hard hitting enough. Like I
but
find
that's
them
not what
to
they're
be-
looking for.
I know it's very sugar
Because that's
coated.
why
It's
the
not my
other
cup of
side
tea.
of it.
Well,
The other
Because it's not for a hardcore fan.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
When you think of
Okay.
people who watch A&E, it's not.
Like,
Yeah, they're
like
just
I,
coming
but I
off
was
of-
like I was getting texts
they're
from
just coming off
Storage
of that shit.
Wars
Yeah,
into biography.
which is coming back, by the way. Storage Wars coming back with
That
the
show's
original
fake.
cast.
Fuck.
With the
Pass.
original cast?
Yeah.
Screw them.
But
Too many commercials.
I was getting a lot of texts and messages from people who aren't really wrestling fans, but like followed it back in the day. Are you watching the Stone Cold bio? I'm like, obviously I am. Like, what do you think I have a life? Like, so like,
This is all that matters.
So
to me.
WWE, A&E, and also like Vice obviously stepped up with Dark Side of the Ring. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
story.
Vice is
We're gonna be talking about that when that
fantastic.
happens. I
Yeah.
think it's just
Yeah.
it's so good, and
It's
they've
worth
done-
doing I think doing maybe like short reviews in this blog
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah, because they're
would
just
be,
like they-
5-minute reviews.
Anybody can watch those and be completely intrigued and dialed in every time those show up.
Certainly. Yep. Certainly.
That's all I wanted to touch on. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this
Next week, we're
opening
on
segment.
Piper,
Let's
though.
get to Pat. Let's get to the chicken and rice for
Yeah,
you
let's
today,
do that.
if you will.
First of all, I would just like to say thank you for all that voted on last week's graphic,
Great
last
turnout,
week's
great
poll.
turnout.
Great
good.
turnout.
For
Thank
the-
you.
Thank you.
Winnipeg's most frustrating streets.
Yep.
I think we all really enjoyed doing that draft.
Yeah, the draft was good.
Yeah. It was the aftermath of the draft. I believe we all agreed, all 4 of us, I thought all 4 of us, I guess just 3/4, said that I would change the graphic, it would not say names, and then we wouldn't make any reference to who drafted what. And then what do I see?
No, okay.
No, let him finish. Let him
And then
finish.
what do I- you
This
can-
needs to be
Your
litigated.
Honor, Your Honor,
Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Just-
the
just-
plaintiff here
Jezebel.
will now get to say his case. The
Julissa.
defendant will wait his turn.
So
Julissa can
what
wait.
Matt did was make sure to vote on this week's poll. I'm number 4. Vote for me.
Yeah, James is
On
also.
my
If we
personal
ever have a
social media.
judge, James is doing it in
Yeah.
that accent
Yeah,
the entire
so-
time, or else I riot.
Yeah, on your personal. But we had said no place on your personal on the.
No,
on the,
we never said that.
Okay, Matt, I'd like you to present your first piece of evidence as to why you believe that conversation did not occur.
Okay, first of all, Pat sent the clip from the podcast in our group chat.
James, can
And
you be
nowhere
the,
in that clip did it say,
the judge of
do
this,
not,
please?
do not state,
It is hot in here!
do not state which one is yours on your own personal social media. We're not going to put it on the Bros, Bumps, and Beers account.
Pat, can I be the first to
Drafted
counter?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is ridiculous.
After the podcast, we had a further discussion in which we talked
I was
about
like 5 beers deep. You think I remember this?
So so there's that. And as a secondary point to that piece of evidence, why would Pat change the graphic to not have our names on it if we weren't moving forward with not having it being named?
And you know what really bothered me about
Hold on,
that?
I just want to
Oh,
just for the
sorry,
record.
I'm
No,
sorry.
just for the record, Matt, do you have a response to that statement?
Why would he change it?
Yes.
Okay, I did on the podcast say that I was under protest. And
Okay,
did
but
not
no,
agree
but
with it.
that's not an answer to why
Yeah,
you would
that's-
change it. And you were on. You were
Called
under
deflecting. It's a classic lawyer technique.
Oh, okay.
Watch fucking Suits.
So Matt, okay, well
That's a
then
great
I-
documentary.
well,
by the
then
way.
I want to say
really good documentary.
I'm gonna
Best
sign so
documentary
many
I've ever seen.
advocates.
Next
I'm
to
gonna
Land
sign-
Before Time.
I think you're misusing
Cool runnings.
the
Oh, yeah, sorry.
being under protest. Like when someone is traditionally under
Yeah, a
protest,
Yankees fan
the
can tell us all
result-
about being under
the
protest.
results has already happened. Now I'm going to protest the results.
I pre-protested my protest.
The other side of this, yes, okay.
Now,
fine.
now, Matt,
My
are
head
you,
hurts.
so
So
Matt,
were you protesting the idea of a protest?
yeah. So, but wait, Matt, does this mean with your protest you're abstaining? You're trying to get your wins stricken from the record? Because let's all call a spade here.
Yeah.
Matt had the best draft.
And I smoked you guys.
There
You
has
did.
no, but there has to be sanctions because we don't know was the draft good
Okay.
because was the draft good because it was good or was it because he did his thing that he did the week before,
Can I-
which is ask for help and get it from everyone who's ever had an Instagram. Ever.
I want to present a damning piece of evidence.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes, the defendant will proceed with this evidence.
James,
please.
James, can you do that again but add more accent? No. Yeah, because that wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't very good.
So I went back and looked at the results and took out every vote that was cast for myself from someone that follows my personal account. Then I also went back and took out all because James finished
Don't you
second.
have kids? Like, don't you have stuff to
Yeah,
do?
Yeah, I
do you
took
have-
long
don't you
poops.
have a job? So
Then I
does
went back
Johnny.
and James finished second. I went back and took off anyone that I figured follows his personal account. That's a personal friend of his as well. And I still won.
Question.
Yes.
Was
I
our
did the whole like common opponent thing. I gotta give
was
him-
our scores so low that
Yes, we were very low. Jordan.
If I had taken off people that knew you guys, you
I don't
probably
think it
would
would
have zero.
Yeah, I
look,
probably
look,
had zero.
look, Matt. The point is,
My
I'm saying
fiance didn't even vote for me.
is that you're not. It's not necessary for you to say which one was yours. You had the best draft. You were going to win anyway.
I disagree.
Oh, James disagrees. See,
So when a politician
I just
is
like my
campaigning for votes, they're stuffing ballots?
No, this is not a campaign. You're not trying to win.
Yeah.
Your campaign doesn't offer anybody anything.
yeah.
Yes, the satisfaction of seeing me smoke you three plebs.
That is a very minuscule, microscopic part of their life that they don't
it's
really
a
care
huge
about.
part of my life.
I doubt any of those people right now, when they listen to this episode, hear that Matt won. They're gonna sit there. Oh, fuck yeah, I knew it.
Knew it. One. Knew it.
One for the little
Two
guy.
wins for Matt. Now.
I would like to, Matt. Do you agree that it is highly likely that this was discussed and you likely, let's give you the benefit of the doubt legally, for the record, we'll say you missed it. We'll say you missed it. Do you agree that that occurred? Based off the other three of us saying that and the changes to the IG story and the instant what the fuck are you doing?
It was probably mentioned. I don't think it was blatantly said, do not put it on your personals.
But do you think it's possible that you missed that considering the other evidence around it?
I mean, anything's possible, Jordan.
Okay. I think Matt needs
Nothing's
Matt
impossible
needs a
in the names
version
of
of the
Kevin
one-game
Garnett.
NHL suspension
No.
sanction.
No.
No, time out. Not
No.
a suspension.
It would not be a fair call if we did not take a look at the evidence in front of us. At no point did we ever say that you could not promote your own.
But we did. We said that after
we
the
did
podcast.
not.
We did not.
On
say
air.
that.
We're talking on air.
We did not say you cannot promote your own.
Okay, but are we not? Is this not a warning shot? Like he just need the podcast.
If he does it again, he forfeits. His
okay,
draft.
but are we even gonna fine him?
How can you find him?
No, it's a first.
He,
It's a
he,
warning.
owes, he owes us all a beer.
He found the loophole.
Okay, yeah,
in the
he owes us
system.
all a beer.
Matt,
We'll say that.
next
Whoa,
week, Matt
whoa,
owes us
whoa.
each of us a beer.
I would say
I'd
so.
rather not draft next week.
Wow, that's the cheapest thing I've
Yeah,
ever
like
heard.
that's you just hate the pod.
Okay, or Matt, I will have the group can also vote on this. I believe this draft should be stricken from Matt's record. He should be moved to 4th place, and everyone else should be bumped up one
Put an
slot.
asterisk on it.
I'm big on asterisks. I like that.
Yeah, you would be
Are
a
you?
Red Sox fan.
Are you big on asterisks?
I'm not doing this right now.
Why don't you go bang a trash can?
That
but
was
let
not
us
that.
know-
I was
let
that was
us
the
know
manager
what's
on a
coming.
when he was on a different team.
This is Apple Watch Gate.
Yeah, it is.
All
different
right.
one.
So Matt, you will take an asterisk?
Do I still get a 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that's what the Astros.
No,
do.
we'd like
not
to-
enough. I'd like to protest. Can I take this to the Supreme Court?
No,
Of
this
the-
is we're over this.
Fuck.
All right.
Yeah,
so
we're already at 15 minutes.
next week we will come back with another draft. Matt will not break any rules. Nothing on personal.
He'll find something new.
Yeah, and he'll ruin it again.
I'm very good at manipulating systems.
Now, can we just go back because this is over? Can we go back?
Let's
to
go back.
the baseball
Super
talk
back?
for a second. I feel like attacking me as a Red Sox fan, who is the best team, I would say, in the AL East, judging by records, and the absolute throttling they gave the Chicago White Sox on Patriots Day, the day of the Boston Marathon, coming
I
from a
thought-
Yankees fan who has just as many losses as we have wins, and whose manager, every time he makes a decision, puts it in a computer. And then the other two gentlemen, who are Jays fans, sit here in delusional land thinking they have a shot ever.
We have the best hitter. No, that's a lie.
JD
Mike
Martinez is
Trout
the best
doesn't-
hitter.
Mike Trout does exist, so you got to keep that in mind.
So let's just all remember that. James, your team sucks.
Yeah, they do right now. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
It's a,
And half
it's a tire fire.
half the Jays are on. Is it IR?
IL.
IL.
Also,
Letters.
Pat, if you could trade just straight up JD Martinez for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., do you do it?
That's just,
No, how old is JD?
he's getting there. He's like 34, 35.
Just straight up?
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, we do that
Yeah,
every
we
day.
do
Well,
that.
that's stupid.
So
Stupid
don't
trade.
don't fucking.
That's a
tell
loss
me
for the
anything
Jays.
about
Yeah, that's
Also-
that's a trade the Jays would make.
When JD hits the ball, do you get to yell placata? Because I get to yell placata.
Why do you get to yell that?
That's apparently the sound. I don't know how it came about, but that's the sound that his Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s bat makes when he hits a home run. It goes placata.
See, that sounds like a made-up thing James fans would
No,
say.
Matt,
That's
can you
stupid.
confirm
Yeah,
on the
I can
Twitter?
confirm.
It says placata.
Can you confirm?
Maybe it's
James, can you confirm?
No, that's stupid.
That's so dumb. That is like the fakest
You know what's
sports
dumb?
shit I've ever heard.
Your stadium, half your seats face the wrong way.
It's also a dump.
They also have poles in the way.
It's a historical monument.
Doesn't mean it's not a dump.
You got a stupid wall.
Yeah, coming from someone from Toronto who decided to tear down the gardens.
That's a horrible argument.
It is.
Yeah, I'm
And I
sorry.
don't know why I went
Yeah,
to
I
it.
was like looking at you, I'm like,
But
I almost
works.
think we should
And
cut that.
erected
That was such
the
a bad
most-
argument.
The busiest arena, one of the five busiest
this-
arenas in all
You know,
of
I
North
should've-
America.
I shouldn't
Listen,
have
you
done
can
this.
get there by taking a train and never have to go outside. It's fine by my books.
I should have
Thumbs
done this.
up.
Now we're talking about Toronto.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I apologize
your
for all
bad.
this. You know what, James? I wrote this down because I thought you'd freak out. You start freaking out, makes for better content.
Yeah,
I'm
it's true.
sad. I'm sad. It's a sad team. Cashman came out today. Sad. Hand holding. We're just
Sounds
supporting
like
everybody.
you three when I whipped your ass in a draft.
Oh my god.
Oh my
You're
god.
I'd like to reopen the sanctions debate and make them harsher.
We'll talk off
Can we
air.
kick him in the nuts?
I could rant. I could rant if you want.
I would
Yeah,
love
go
it
ahead.
for
Yeah,
him.
you get
That's
2
what
minutes.
sold last episode when you ranted about route.
You get 2
Yeah,
minutes.
but
Go
then
ahead.
it turns into a Yankee podcast, and then I don't know if people want to hear that. But fuck it, I'll go anyways. I mean, the team is broken philosophy-wise, and this goes back to last year.
A dude
like-
retired because he didn't want to play for him
Yeah,
anymore.
they bullied. They bullied.
Like Plato like philosophizer or like Homer?
No, just your approach to the plate, and this goes back to last year. So,
Oh, so Homer, the approach to the plate.
well, there's not enough of those going around right now in Yankee
No,
land.
Jordan, stop.
It's a home plate.
But anyways, no. So they're 38 and
That was
37
creative.
going back to last year. Sure, you can make the excuse that it was a
different year?
A different year.
More anger,
and
James, more
it,
anger.
It was COVID. But fuck's sakes, figure it out. Teams are pitching you backwards. I talked to Matt before the podcast about this.
Okay, that just seems like they're throwing to second.
Oh my God! This is what happens when the non-baseball fan decides that he's going
I
to
love
start liking
baseball.
baseball.
For April, and then you forget
So what
about
does
it.
pitching backwards mean?
It means they're starting them off with off speed and then moving to the
There you
higher
go.
speed stuff later.
There we go.
I know. I'm just trying to have fun. Sorry, fucking fun.
No, there's no fun anymore. This season sucks. Yes. Man, there's no fun.
Yes.
There's no fun. Here
You
we
know,
go.
you know who could get the ball back to home plate quick? William Hung.
I could use it. No, I take William Hung in center field over Aaron Hicks right now, booting the ball around all day, not giving a fuck
More like
about
Aaron
anything.
Dix, am I right?
He sucks. In one inning. In one inning. It was like the worst inning of baseball I've ever seen the Yankees play. Aaron Hicks, I'm not going to catch it, but I'm going to fake the catch so I can get the guy out at second. Fucks that up.
I got another one. More like Gary Dirty Sanchez.
You should have stopped it.
Yeah.
Damn it! Almost had
I
it.
got more for yours. Got Xander Poofarts.
That's hilarious.
Are we gonna skip over Aaron Poon?
I mean, I don't know if you can say
that's-
that anymore.
I know, but
I can't say that.
you could. They say it a lot in like Jamaican, like Caribbean culture.
Oh, God. I mean, that's a little different.
Okay, so we touched
So
Toronto
Poon
and we
farts is
touched
okay, but we're
Caribbean life.
blocking off Poon.
If you're
Damn it.
scoring on your bingo card
Yeah,
from home.
the Bros, Bumps, and Beers bingo card. We have touched on Toronto as a great city and Caribbean life.
Yeah. So, anyways, no. Yankees,
can I say
Yankees
the P
suck.
word again?
Season starts tomorrow. We get the Braves, who also suck right now, too. And thankfully, Acuna is hurt. So,
Right. Woo. Do you feel better about it, James? I feel like you want to
no,
get it
I
out.
don't. I absolutely don't.
Well, I feel like Marissa's going to appreciate you doing it here and not at home.
Oh, no, she heard it.
Oh,
No, she heard it.
brave soul that girlfriend of yours.
Marissa and I had great like back and forth text conversations while the Jays were whooping that Yankee ass not too long ago.
It wasn't a whooping.
It was a whooping.
Nobody's whooped him but the Rays.
No, they whooped him.
It was not a whooping.
Watch the games.
It's not a whooping.
They whooped him.
And by game, Jordan means Jays in 30.
Is that what they call the MLB.com story type updates where you just hit the right side?
Matt,
of
I
the
know you're
screen
going to
and
say,
it tells
isn't
you
that the
everything
greatest show? MLB TV app has that.
for every game?
They condense the games about an hour
Jeez.
after the game's done.
That's fantastic.
That's pretty sweet.
All right, so what do you say we talk about some beers, fellas?
Please.
Sure.
All right, so you know what, Jordan?
He's all pumped about the beer he's drinking, and
No, it's just I like the banter. I feel like it goes by so fast.
This the second.
Oh yeah,
segment
no, you're
is
right.
long.
The interview we do later is not short,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Yeah, so Jordan, I'm very intrigued about what you're drinking tonight. So why don't you lead us off?
Oh, Patrick, I will be glad to do that. I'm drinking MisBEEhavin, which is a ESB. It's a strong beer. It's the extra special bitter. So this is actually the golden ticket winner from Trans Canada Brew.
That was
You
unnecessary.
literally turned away from the microphone and brought it back to your mouth to interrupt
I had to
my
make sure it wasn't gonna be wet.
This extra special bitter
You can
is
cut that.
interesting sweetness of buckwheat honey with the bitterness of hops. So it was interesting because the person who made it, the gentleman Mike Gray, I believe, used local honey as he's a home brewer
Really?
himself.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
so he used local honey. So this is a very interesting beer. One, I love it at 6%. I think that's fantastic. The first thing you notice is the color is stunning. Stunning. It's gold, as in like Gold Rush gold, Olympic gold, Goldschlager, Gold Flakes, Gold Member, Goldilocks.
You
in
can
the
stop
three-
anytime.
Yeah, we
Okay.
get it. It's cold.
Matt, talk through this sip, please.
So MisBEEhavin means that they're not being good.
Why would you throw it to him? God
After
damn.
that, why wouldn't I? And the B in MisBEEhavin is BEE in all
of
caps,
course it
just
is.
in case
Hilarious.
you didn't get
Great-
it.
Great little pun.
So what I like about this beer actually is the honey is quite pronounced, but it's not going to hit you super hard. Like Mead's, it's like honey through the face. And this is a very subtle honey, but it's very drinkable, very sessionable. I don't find it to be overtly bitter. It's really just bitter on the finish, but not to the point where you're like throwing it away. It's just not really your cup. It's just very light. Everything about it is easy and interesting because there's not a lot of ESBs kicking around Winnipeg. I like the sweetness, and this is going to get a higher score than I thought because I like the fact that I feel like I could have numerous of these. I'm going to give it a 4.
Wow. Okay.
I love the amount I can drink of them. I like the flavor. I like the alcohol percentage. I think it's worth trying, and congrats to this guy in TCB for making something I think really interesting and different in what is a fun but crowded craft beer market. So good on you guys.
So you
4 out
let
of
me
5
win.
at JSCO 55 on Untapped.
If they had let me win, I would have made a quadruple IPA.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna pass this off
What,
to
kill people?
Yes.
Lames.
Let's just pile on. Man,
You and
that's how this
Xander
week's going.
Poofarts.
I'll take Xander Pooh.
Lane's
Big fan, of
Right.
He's
the,
hitting.
big fan of the Stanks. Am I right? All right.
They
All
are
right,
the
we're
Stanks.
just going all out tonight.
I'm trying to think of other Yankees players.
So yeah, right now I'm currently drowning my sorrows with Desert Island IPA from Sookrams Brewery.
Great
It is a West Coast IPA, much to our surprise. Me and
IPA.
Matt were talking.
no. Wasipa.
Now it does. Yeah, Desert Island IPA has intense hop flavors and aromas of peach, mango, and tropical
Ain't that the
fruit. The only thing I really noticed so far is the intense hop flavors.
Holy shit! Yeah, punches your.
It is a punch in the mouth, that's for sure. Because of that, I don't know if it's necessarily sessionable, where some West Coast IPAs are fairly sessionable.
Very sessionable.
This one would not be there. Now, me and my glass half full, I enjoy it. It's still good. I'm a hoppy kind of drinker. Not a lot of people are. So I would warn you on this one. This probably isn't the one that you're going to want to try. But with that being said, I like it. It's certainly a strong beer in the, I guess, category that it would be in. So far, the city has done a very good job of West Coast IPAs. I would say overall, they're all fairly competitive. They're all fairly close to each other. There hasn't been one where I've been like, nope, not a chance. I'm not drinking this. But there have been a lot of them where I'm like, this is pretty good. I'm going to drink it again. This would be something I would drink again. I'm not going to go out. It's not going to be my first pick, but I would drink it again. So with that being said, I'm going to give it a rating of 3 on the nose.
Okay. You know, it's funny that you'd say that about, like, that it's not really your cup of tea. I found I have a lot of people that are very casual craft beer drinkers. They go back to Desert Island more than any IPA that I know.
Really?
Which the way you describe it kind of shocks me a little.
Because it's bitter. Like,
it is very bitter.
It's not a thirst quencher.
And
Like,
I
What?
kind of,
I don't find the
kinda
bitter
give them-
thirst
I kinda
quencher.
give them that
It might
look.
for you. Like I just don't.
I give them that look, the same look that you gave me that nobody can see right now. Great podcasting. It's just they go, yeah, I really like Desert Island, and I'm like, really? That's like a little more on the hoppier side, right? And I think it's really good. It's one of the IPAs that I'll go buy on the regular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's very.
It needs a little more fruit. Like
it's
I think it needs something
yeah.
to tone it out a little
I think
bit.
it's a little polarizing. Like I think a lot of people really like it, and other ones it's not that they don't like it. It's just it's not their favorite, right? All right. So Matt, let's go to you.
I went to Barnhammer.
Attaboy.
Barnhammer.
Got the beer that we have been talking about for 2-3 weeks now, maybe. Arvensis.
I gave Matt a little teaser. Said this is worth a try.
Yes. So Arvensis is a gin Philly sour. Now, little known fact about Matt,
From Philadelphia,
born and raised.
on the playground is where I
wait.
spent most of my days.
Chilling out nice, relaxed, out cool, shooting some b-balls. That's cool.
All right. I
A
like
couple
it.
of guys were up to no good.
Oh, so they started making trouble in the neighborhood.
Okay, we'll stop there.
All
That
That was good though.
was
I'm not cutting
fantastic,
any of
guys.
it.
What's that from?
Kevin Hart's first
kidding.
comedy.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so little known fact, big gin guy back in the day. That's all I used to drink was gin.
Gin and juice or gin and tonic?
I would go gin and tonics, but also gin and 7-Ups at the bar.
Oh, wow.
And now, actually, if I am going to drink hard stuff, which I rarely do anymore, I will go gin club soda with a little twist of lime.
Really? I hate gin. I never would have guessed
Bombay
that.
gin.
Tastes like trees.
It tastes like
tastes like
flowers.
pine.
I don't
Which is
like it.
funny you say that. This has a little bit of gin quality to it.
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah,
The
so-
botanicals are nuts.
Yeah, so you get a lot of floral notes. Actually, a little bit of pininess after. So initially, it's tart, like a Philly sour or a sour should be, and then at the end, you're kind of like your finish is a little bit piney, lot floral. Actually, a little bit sweet almost. It's got a bit of a malty quality to it.
I just gotta say, I've only been here a couple weeks, but even listening to the show before this, I love your reviews.
Well, thank you.
They're very
It's
detailed.
an adventure.
Oh, yeah. Very detailed.
It's like he's reading you a bedtime
Yeah,
story.
like I'm sitting here, I'm like, yes, tell me more, Papa Matt.
There.
Papa Matt!
So, kind of a hobby guy. I'm a little obsessive at times.
No.
But craft beer has become this thing. Like I'll talk to her. My wife, not a beer drinker,
She's a
Doesn't
good
like-
listener, though.
but she will sit there and listen to me. You say that she's a good listener.
I wasn't being sarcastic. She's
She
a very
will
good
sit
listener.
there and listen to me describe beers, and I'll be like, "Do you want to try it?" And she'll be like, "Hell no."
Yeah.
But she'll just humor me and let me just describe beers
good
to her.
sign of a good
and,
wife.
That's a good wife. That's a good wife material.
and then she'll be like, "Yeah, this wine's good."
Brian
And I'll
does
be
that
like,
for
"Yeah,
me when
you
I
just let
talk
me
about
try it."
wrestling.
Yeah, Ree does the same for me with
I'm
cars
starting to
and video
realize
games.
that my wife just listens to me a lot. I talk a lot. Anyway,
We got some good women.
Yes,
Marissa
we
does
do.
the same thing. She gets bombarded with, "You want to see what's on Yankee Twitter today?" She doesn't, but she's going to hear it anyways.
The amount of shit I say to Ree, where in her brain it must just be like, I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Like it happens all the time.
oh yeah.
Who's winning the Red Sox game, Pat? Well, let me tell you what just happened. Okay, she sits down. She doesn't listen.
Yeah,
but I
you
know.
think she just like how many times do you think our ladies are just like, fuck, I did not bargain for that.
Yeah, they sit down like I shouldn't have sat
Hey
down.
Jordan, how was your day? Oh, honey, let me tell you. She's like, fuck, you
all
know, I
right.
was hoping this would be short.
Anyways, Matt.
So going to the rating, follow me at Gagne Matt on Untapped. This is good. It's got a it grew on me. The first sip, I was like, ooh, I don't know. And then it grew on me. If you had asked me to rate it after one sip, it was probably a 3. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
It
It took till the middle of my second beer until I was like, I have a feeling of what I think this is now.
I would drink this again. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to drink two
Yeah,
or
you're not
three
gonna
in
get
a
like
night.
a fucking massive pint of it or,
Yeah,
or a
but
massive beer.
It's definitely something, especially if you're a sour drinker, it's definitely something you should grab because it's unlike pretty much any sour I've ever
Yep,
tasted.
I totally agree. I think if you haven't had something, I think I always try to tell people, and Matt, you do the same. If you're like, I don't recognize this flavor, like this flavor is new. For me, that's like a big flag to go get it. Absolutely. So I think it is
and
a
this
very
is new,
special
but
flavor.
also very good.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
very
new,
good
I'm
and
like,
very new.
what the fuck did I just drink?
It's worth having if you're. It's like the ESB I just talked about, MisBEEhavin. It's like if you're not used to having it or it's not normal and it's good, yeah, like you should go give it a run.
All right, so
Hatcheries?
I'll finish it out. I picked up a release from Stone Angel. We don't usually do a lot of Stone Angel. Not the first thing we grab on our way to the beer store, but I picked up the Blue Note Session Ale, coming in at 3.75% alcohol, 36
Pardon?
IBU. Yeah, a little low, on the lower
What's
side.
the point then?
I mean, it is light. It is easy drinking. It's a session ale, obviously. I could really honestly drink this all night. It is that light. It is that easy drinking. There's not much more I could say about it. There's nothing that really pops out to me. It's not that it's boring. It's just it's very.
Do you want me to get the bag?
No, you don't have to. No, you don't
I
have
can
to.
grab the. I can
No,
grab
you
a
don't have
bag.
to. I think it's very
because it's been a while
solid.
since we put something in a
No,
bag.
I think it's very solid. The last thing I drank from them, I think, was that sour that had cheese in it.
Yeah,
do you
never
want me to get the
reviewed
bag
that.
for that?
That was not good. That was not for me.
yeah.
This I would drink. I would tell them to continue coming out with this one. Is very solid. So yeah, you could. I'm not going to say much else. You can follow me on Tap at Pat Gagne. The Blue Note from Stone Angel. I'll give this a 3 out of 5. I think it's just a very standard thing that's done very well, and I would drink again. So quick recap: JC Sizzle had the Desert Island from Sookrams. He gave it a 3 out of 5. Gagne Matt with how many T's, Matt?
2.
Okay, 2. He had the Arvensis from Barnhammer. He gave it a 3.5 out of 5. JSco55 had the MisBEEhavin. He gave it from TCB. He gave it a 4 out of 5. And I had the Blue Note from Stone Angel coming in at 3 out of 5. And now we throw it to Jordan for I think what might be a very quick beer news of the week.
No.
We will see. I am.
excuse
No,
me.
it's not. It exploded. I looked today and was like, oh sweet Jesus, we're going again. Kilter Brewing, Sunny Dreamsicle is back. For those of you who don't remember, that is the orange milkshake IPA. Very good beer, worth a try.
What?
You know, I think it's solid. I don't like orange
There are
milkshake,
fans.
but I think there's fans of that.
Oh, there's
Why
a
else
lot
would
of
they
fans.
bring it back?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, okay, and that's all that matters. So fuck you if you like it. Nonsuch has come out with the. Oh, I wanted to do this. A petit saison, petit saison. That's the only thing I remember from French class. Is that a petit poisson, something like a small fish? What does nage mean?
Swim.
Oh, fuck, that's so on the nose. ABV 4.9, hazy straw color, citrus vanilla, light breadiness, and ever-present saison fennel. That's a made-up word. Okay. So anyways, grab that. If you're a saison person, give that a try from Nonsuch. Barnhammer has Tamara's vegan coconut milkshake IPA.
It's sold out, by the way.
It's sold out?
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, okay, good for them. I mean, it's a small batch. I can't tell you what a vegan coconut milkshake IPA looks like because, you know, I hate when they put meat in my beers, but it's good that they skip it.
The lactose, you fuck.
So, Chance Canada came out with the newest county sour grilled pineapple.
Interesting. Not gonna drink it.
I had
don't like
it.
Pineapple.
I've had it.
You don't like pineapple?
No.
Is
I
it
hate
smoky?
Not overtly. I think
Damn it.
it's one of those things with TCB again where I'm just like, the idea's there, just take the flavor and turn it up 2 notches and we're there. But it's just a lot of their county sours just taste like sours with, like, you have to search for the flavor. Like, I want it to be
Yeah.
like the melon where it's like, hey, here's some melon, and it punches you right in the
Prickly
forehead.
pear.
You want to taste the
prickly
rainbow.
pear. Yeah. Thank you, James. Yes. Kettle Sour from Half Pints Brewing. This is the strawberry clementine kettle sour. Excuse me, not designed to destroy your face. Sorry about that burp right in your face. It happens.
We're just disgusting today. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. It was in the middle. 5.6% though, so that's a sour that's going to hit you a little harder. Little Brown. Well, by golly, it has been a bygone minute since Little Brown Jug has made itself on this podcast. They were scarce for a while, but now they are back, and they got themselves a Hefeweizen. We're not allowed to say the names around these pods since we beat them in 45. It's a hazy German wheat beer with notes of banana, clove, and bread.
That is a callback.
I will say this. Okay,
we haven't done that in a while.
This interests me so much as a Hefeweizen person because I thought Little Brown Jug should have had a Hefeweizen 3 years ago. Like, they smashed the Belgian stuff, and this isn't Belgian, but like Hefs are close. So I'm beyond psyched to try this. Wavelength, new beer from Sookrams. It's another West Coast IPA out of Sookrams. So these are going to be Eclipse hops as well as Talus hops. So they got a combination of Australian hops. Those are the Eclipse, and Talus, which is Pacific Northwest. So Matt, yeah, you probably want to tell us something fancy.
I haven't had this one yet. I got to pick it up still. But as someone who's had the last 3 wavelengths they released, because it's kind of like their almost like their fog machine where they do and they feature hops in it.
Okay.
I am very excited because they really these kick ass usually.
There's a few new ones. I think that one for me, and then there's another one I'm about to mention, but that Hef from Little Brown Jug has my attention for sure. Barnhammer, Return of the Tang, one of my favorite names in the Winnipeg scene. The craft, the Orange Milkshake IPA once again is back. So if you're an Orange Milkshake IPA person, you are spoiled for choice this week. And finally, the last piece of beer news this week, Kilter is coming out with a fused specialty beer, a collab with Cabin Brewing. Cabin Brewing is out of
Calgary.
Alberta, Brewery of the Year. Yeah, Calgary. Thank you, Matt. And they're doing a collab, which is, I believe, going to be... so they have a video. It's super juicy?
Super juicy, yeah.
Okay, so it's super juicy. I mean...
Can't wait. I'm gonna try
This
it.
should be
Yeah.
this should be great. So
Are we
I
allowed
mean,
to review it though? Because that's kind of an out of.
yeah, I feel like
province.
yes. I think we should put that. I think we should be allowed.
Someone
to,
should.
Yeah, and twist my arm. I got it. So I'll take. Yeah, we'll do that next week. But I agree with Matt. This is a really good week for beer in Winnipeg because you got everything we mentioned.
We're getting into the summer releases.
Yeah, we're starting to hit the summer releases. And it's good to see some companies doing stuff that maybe I thought they should have been doing for a while. Little Brown Jug, like the Hefeweizen, just seems so perfect. So I hope it's as good as I think. But Pat, that is it for the beer review. Back to you.
Thank you, Jordan. All right, so that will wrap up our opening segment. This week, only 2 segments for you. We
have been doing 2 segments for like 3 weeks now.
Sorry. Yes, that's correct. So what happened?
What a moron!
What happened
Yeah,
last
what are you
week?
trying to set up our interview, you
Yes,
dumb?
I am trying to. Last week, Jordan, James, and myself, Matt was unable to attend for family reasons, we will call it. And we visited Tyler and Adam from LowLife Barrel House. They are the brewers, they are the owners, and they have just recently purchased a new space where they will open their new brewery. I'm not going to play spoilers, in September sometime they're hoping to open. So we sat down with them, did a on-air tasting. We talked to them about their beer, their journey. This is a great interview. It's 55 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I tried to cut down to make it as short as I could, I really didn't find many spots where there wasn't either something funny, informative, or interesting. So I kept I kept a good chunk of the time we did together.
We did the interview socially distanced with masks, so we might sound
in a fucking massive
with a
empty
wide
warehouse.
open, wide open, and so we'll sound muzzled.
Pat, how do you know that? How will the listener know that there was masks?
Now,
on?
Matt, I would just like to apologize for you
There's
for the
proof that the
constant
masks were on.
weeks of ridicule. For the first 5 minutes of this interview, you will hear something that sounds like heavy breathing.
Yeah, like
It
Darth
is-
Vader
yes,
himself did the podcast.
I
yes.
will admit, it had snowed. The snow was melting. My allergies were acting up. I'm going to make excuses. They were acting up. I did have a very high-carb dinner that night. Doesn't help either. And also, I was wearing a mask, and for some reason, I breathe very heavy when I'm in a mask. So it's not the entire interview. The interview is good. If you hear some heavy breathing, just battle through it.
It was the most inexplicable thing
Yeah.
to listen to because I'm like, who is that?
So you know what? The interview is really good. It doesn't take away from it. So just enjoy it. Just know you're going to hear that. You're going to hear trains coming by down the track.
The vents
The
turn
vents
on
go on.
once.
It is amazing. I think I really enjoyed talking with these guys. We learned a lot. We tasted a lot. And we have a very good appreciation for these guys. Hopefully in the future we can go visit other breweries. But let us throw it to our interview with LowLife Barrel House. A Bros Bumps and Beers presents a Bros Bumps and Beers interview.
Oh, Michael, this is going to be fun to watch.
All right, welcome. We are live from the, how do we want to call this, guys? The empty warehouse that will soon be LowLife Barrel House.
I'm low key terrified, honestly.
Well, it's a future fancy beer emporium.
Oh.
So just to clarify, that's what it's
Yeah,
gonna be.
This company with their words,
Fancy
second to
beer
none.
emporium.
Second to none. I love it.
You know what? I feel like I'm sitting in a future fancy beer emporium here right now. I'll tell you that much.
You have to squint your eyes really
Oh yeah.
real.
No, I do that. It's okay. I need glasses. I'm like half blind right now, so it's all good.
So we are here, socially distanced with masks. We're here with Tyler Birch and Adam Carson from LowLife Barrel House, and we appreciate you guys bringing us in to see the space from its, how would we say this, present state.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll come back later when it's all set up. And what did you say, Adam? When it's done, or when we run out of money?
So it may actually look like this in a few months, but that's it. Yeah.
There's an absolute vibe to this right now that I would absolutely probably kind of love.
We are
Honestly.
called Low Life. So put two and two together, boys.
Well, yeah, I was going to say minimalist is in right now, so yeah.
So I was actually really excited when we had this opportunity to come see you guys, because I need one question answered right from the start. Could you explain to me why I love your beer so much? Because I have literally no idea.
Adam passed that off so fast.
As the story goes, I was out buying craft beer, and I honestly, Scout's honor, thought I was picking up a release from Barnhammer. I just saw the white can, glasses were fogged, I brought it home, and I go, Matt, I bought a LowLife Barrel House. What is this? He's like, that's a Brett. I'm like, who's Brett? And he goes, I don't know if you're gonna like it. You're kind of a picky eater. And I cracked it open, and I drank it, and it was the first time in a long time I was really sad I didn't buy 5.
Okay.
So I could just explain.
He's not just saying that to be nice to you guys. Like, he legitimately, and I will say, just for the sake of it, this is not my style of beer. So when he walked in and he's like, I was really impressed, and I was like, Pat was the last person I expected to be the one who's like, this is my cup of tea. But he like has been banging the table. Like, you should have seen how happy he was when he's like, hey guys, LowLife wants to. They want to do a meeting, like a tasting. Do you guys want to do a tasting? And I was like, do you want to do a tasting? He's like, yeah, I think we should do it. It's like, okay, Pat, yeah, we're going to do it. So
Jordan,
he was like,
you're going to do a chugging until
Oh,
you like Low
no.
Life. I'm just telling you, you're going to leave here and you're going to be a fan.
No, it's fine. I love it. I'm drinking. No, I'm kidding. I do definitely like it right now.
Maybe Tyler, if you could just speak to the process of this. Like, there's just so many unique aspects to your beer that A, I just don't understand, and B, I just want to, because when I pick it up, I want to explain to people what it is and why is it so unique compared to a lot of other beers in the city.
Okay. Well, I mean, to be honest, there's a lot we don't understand about it yet either. It's Britannomyces as a brewing culture is it's not new, but the use of it is new again in craft brewing, because people have done basically everything they could do with the regular stuff. So now they're going into kind of unique cultures. So that's what we're really into. Do you remember which beer it was?
It was the table beer.
Okay, the table beer. Okay, so that's that's one in particular where the culture really shines, which is the fun thing about what we do. We just make the work, and the Brettanomyces really does a lot of the work. It just goes from there, and mostly we're waiting until we try it and we're like, yeah, there it is. So it's kind of fun in a way to, rather than just like with Barnhammer, we're like, okay, we make a beer, 3 weeks later, what is it going to be? We have to pump it out, do another one through the stainless steel. This is just, it's just time and giving the culture everything it needs to thrive and do what we want with it.
And that's also one of the challenges of brewing with Brett and with fooders as well, is the time, which Tyler touched on, is we don't know necessarily when it's going to be ready. We don't know when it's going to be released, whether it's the background stuff like getting it, getting a number at the LC and setting a price and everything, and then, tasting notes, because we could do tasting notes 2 months before, and then by the time we can it, it's a completely different product.
Oh, really?
So, and then that happens more often than you think. So we actually probably will remove tasting notes from a lot of our beers and just sort of describe to you how it's made and what's in it, just because of that reason.
That's awesome. Do you find, like, with the a beer that's as maybe specialized as this, did you have a hard time getting it into the LC or getting it into anywhere, or was everyone just like, we'll just take, like one of the more interesting companies in the city and just like see, how you guys develop?
No, in the LC it was fairly easy, and the beer stores as well. They everyone's been very helpful with all the craft breweries and promoting as well. The restaurants are a touch tougher, but if you were, say, a Segovia or a Closco or something like that, one of those, a bit of an upper echelon
Tapas style high end,
yeah,
if you will.
That sort of worked well for us.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
Now, and with this style of beer, because it is so unique, when you started putting it out, were you at all like a little, I don't want to say worried, but like, were you kind of on pins and needles? Is this going to take off, or is the beer community deep enough where they can want this beer on a consistent basis?
We fully expected people to embrace it, as well as people to outright reject it, which is exactly what's happening. There are people who absolutely love it, and there are people who drink it and are just, no, it's not for me. I don't like it. It tastes like it's gone bad. It's not my kind of thing, which has kind of actually been nice for me personally with, I don't want to talk about Barnhammer a lot, but when we make those beers, it's kind of soul crushing if someone says something bad about it. You're
right.
And it was nice to take a different angle with this and say, you know what, some people are going to hate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it.
Do you think there's like a piece with that? Yeah, there's like find a little piece with that,
yeah,
maybe.
It's been almost cathartic to me to just say, yeah, fine, I don't care. Like, especially this one, the Hand of Glory that we made. We were expecting.
Oh, the Hand of Glory.
Actually, more people liked it than I thought.
As a basic concern, you're saying if someone said something bad about a Barnhammer beer, it's soul crushing?
Yeah, it's like it's like it hurts. It's like we did this, and I know we don't expect every single person to like every beer.
What happened with Guava 66, and why was it not a longer term release?
Which one?
So Guava 66 was released on a Wednesday last year in the summer, and it was one of the best beers I ever had. And I campaigned for it to stay, and it never happened. Do you have a response to why that occurred specifically?
Well, did you like the Guavatron?
I did. I liked 66 better, but I loved Guava. I have a thing for Guava, like a totally not weird, like totally fine thing for Guava.
Like how you're explaining.
It's totally not going to get me in trouble. But the Guava 66 was one of the best beers I've ever had. Why is it not currently released and in my fridge? Please answer this question, sir.
The reason I asked about the Guavatron is because we're actually making that a core beer, I think, very soon.
Oh boy!
Love it.
Oh boy! He thinks he can win me back by putting Guavatron there, but not 60.
Second thing,
okay.
Because of that, we're gonna have tons of guava around.
All right.
So we can easily throw some in the 66.
You know what?
From time to time
I'm not stopping the recording. We can continue. You can stay. Thank you.
And just FYI, Jordan, I did scan your Instagram before you came here, and there is a shocking amount of photos of guava. Yes, it's pretty fucking bizarre.
Was it mine or was it the sensual Guava page that I also run?
Well, one in here has been a link to the sensual
Guava
page,
yes,
right?
it's just me
also
hugging guavas.
Sensual Guava.
At sensual guava.
Yeah,
I'm actually starting that account for real now. That's going to be my new nickname is sensual guava.
Have you seen a whole guava? They're not a good-looking fruit.
No.
Oh, how dare you!
No.
Now we're mad again.
Enough. Let's change that.
So now you're here, and now you have your own space. What's the vision moving forward for the space? What beers you're going to bring in?
It's a huge space.
Yeah.
Like I gotta say, we've seen, obviously, I think about every brewery in the city. I think this is the biggest space. Like, I can't think of a bigger space.
Well,
I really can't.
We don't really.
Canada.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't really see the back, so
Right.
we
but
see the
I just-
storefront, and that's about
Yeah,
it.
maybe. I just feel like I'm looking around this and like, this is huge.
Well, now you got me stressed out. Is it too big?
No, it's good.
Is it gonna look empty all the time?
No, I think this
Hopefully
is like
not.
the potential you have to do stuff in here. Like, I feel like you can go as far as your mind can take you with a space like this, and you have space outside too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking front, like, I love it. I loved it as soon as I walked up or I came up. I thought it was sick.
I mean, to be honest with you, we are going all out in this brewery. We're not just kind of like, putting up some walls, putting in a brew house and brewing some beers. We're doing exactly the way we want to represent our beer as best as possible.
Yeah.
And it's a time-consuming, product that we're really passionate about, and we want to brew like our brew house, our tap room, everything to be the same. So, I think when you come to LowLife, when we do open, I think it's going to be an experience. It's going to be everything we can, whether it's from the service to the product to the aesthetics. I think it's not just going to be another tap room.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest with you.
The key question. Are you a food with your taproom person or no food with your
So
taproom
I did listen to your podcast when you said that we needed food because our beer's so fucked up.
That's just because I'm always hungry. It has nothing to do with your beer.
Guys, I'm just
listening. Always hungry.
So no pressure on the next review.
That's good.
Did you know people listen to our podcast?
There's a few. It's growing.
Listen, my family loves it, okay? And they're all we need.
I'll be sure to send it to my mom. No, I mean, as far as restaurant goes or, ordering hot food, it's not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But there's just too many logistical things we got to do.
Yeah, of course.
But I do think that the potential of having maybe perhaps a bit of an elevated food here, whether it's from a restaurant where they provide, a charcuterie board or what. I'm not using that, saying that.
But I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I get the idea, yeah.
Not just chips and jerky. There's anything wrong with that.
How dare you?
But I mean, it's what you're trying to portray, right? Like it is I want to say higher end beer, right? It's just the way you're pushing it a little bit. Is that
It's made by LowLifes, but it's a higher end product.
Yeah.
We call it high end maybe just because it takes a long time.
Yeah.
I know what defines a high end beer because why isn't Bud Light a high end beer? Why is our a high end beer? Is it
Well,
the
I can
price tag,
tell
or
you a
is
couple
it-
reasons.
But you know what I'm saying.
Do you
Like,
think it's just marketing? Like, I think your beer tastes different, but gives it an air of exclusivity in a way.
Right.
Where I think sometimes, like, you hear lager and you're just like, well, it's a lager. Like, maybe. I'm just going off the top of my head.
lagers
I
can
really
be made
don't
in
know.
fooders too.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but I do think as we want to present it as probably a bit more of a higher end product due to all the love and passion and time that's involved in making it.
Cool.
Like if we were using, grapes in our beer, for example, these grapes are, hand-picked by people we know, grown organically, biodynamically, shipped here, and hand-crushed by us. This isn't, concentrate from the store down the street, right?
Right.
It will never will be.
That's
like,
awesome.
We're going all out, so if it costs a couple bucks more, maybe that's why, right?
Okay.
But anyway.
Do you hope with your product to get that across, or how do you try to let people know? Because I think I can see how if someone's just picking it up from a beer store and they don't know, they might not understand like the care and the time that went into this. So is there a way that maybe it's canning, maybe it's labeling, like is there a way you try to let people know like, hey, we put a lot of time and effort into this and it's special in a certain way?
I think we're in the place that's going to happen.
Yeah.
We kind of
Yeah,
have
that's
to.
fair.
We have to almost put in all the FaceTime and we have to train our staff to be able to tell people that because it's really hard to convey and without making the can like a novel, having a lift up flap or something like that. You can't. It's hard, and that's I think the biggest challenge we have right now, especially with COVID.
Of course.
We can't be in there to tell people that when they try something and they're like,
Yeah, there's like massive recoil.
yeah,
right?
and you have to be like, hey, yes, that's what we want, and this is why we did this and this and this, and being able to do that, I think, will be very powerful to get people into this.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's been our biggest challenge. Is like if somebody sees one of these beers and they buy it and they go, "Oh, that's a little wild." But when you can walk into the tap room, when you can talk to somebody who's trained on the product, or they can talk to Tyler, myself, Chris, Brian, whoever it may be, we want to get that across to people. If you go to the liquor store right now, you literally it's just, oh, here's another craft beer. Let's just try this one.
Right.
And I mean, you guys know we just talked about that, right?
Yeah.
And another thing, like for example, my wife went to the liquor store on the weekend, and there was some LowLife there, and it was literally mixed in with the Barnhammer beers. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right,
I mean, but we do
the
want to
reason
separate.
I say is if
Exactly.
you're trying to push something, right?
Yeah.
and all of a sudden a customer is getting something that's not what they expected, that does create like a moment where the customer's like, oh, I mean, I was trying to get 66, or I was trying to get right, and I pulled this by accident. And I agree that like the emotional aspect of almost having a connection, it's like being in here and meeting one of you and being able to go like, oh really, I think that changes the taste of the beer. I know it doesn't change the taste of the beer, but it changes the experience and the emotion of drinking or eating anything. So I see completely what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. I find that some of the best beers that I've had is you are at the brewery, right?
Yeah.
And you're meeting the people who, this is their craft, this is their art, right? And that really resonates with me. And that's where I kind of pick up some of my favorite beers, is just in the brewery. Yes, going to the liquor mart or to the vendor and picking up a can is good and a quick way to enjoy a beer, but it's nice to know the story behind the beer too.
Yeah.
So.
I think if you're an Untapped person too, I feel like sometimes I go to the beer store and I'm just like trying to keep up with the releases. Yeah. Right? And I'm just like, okay, I got to make sure I get everything this week and I can talk about it. And like this is the brewery is like the thing I miss so much with COVID, because
Well, and that was the thing when I
this.
first started drinking craft beers. Probably, I haven't been drinking them that long, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
The best part was, okay, I tried this beer. Now I want to go to the tap room. I want to interact with the staff. I want to see the passion behind that. I feel like I think when you talk about how is Bud Light different from this, there's no face to it. And I feel like craft beer, there is a face to every company, and there is that passion that every owner and brewer has. And I think just sitting here talking with you, that comes through like tenfold.
Yeah. Drink local, right, Pat?
Exactly.
Drink local.
You haven't seen the faces under these?
Yes, from 7 feet away, you all look fantastic.
We just shaved our beards coincidentally too.
Oh, did you? I've been trying to get James to shave his beard forever, but he just won't do
There
it.
was only one thing to do.
Do not shave that beard.
No.
You're looking real good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like passion's one thing for sure, but also having a good product I think is super important. And I can be really passionate about sketching. I'm not going to be a very good drawer, but if we, the passion is one part of it, it's also the ingredients, and and if it isn't right, beer is going down the drain. Like literally, it is going down the drain. We will never release something that we're not 100% satisfied with.
I love that.
Like zero.
Yeah, that honesty is really important when you're putting out a product like this. So, like, before we taste some beers, we're here now. It's an empty warehouse. What is opening gonna look like for you guys?
To be honest, opening is going to be our biggest challenge. We have, a number of new fooders coming, and it's going to take a minimum 3 months to make a beer in a fooder, especially the brand new fooder. Turnover can be a little bit quicker in old ones, but these ones, will take a while. So I'm just using an example. Say we get the fooders in August, right? And we get approval to open in September. Well, we have 2 months of sitting here closed, right? Like, what would you guys do? Yes, we can produce some clean beers and open, perhaps doing not what we normally do, just do the excitement, and realistically you have bills to pay, you have a business to run, you have people to pay, staff to pay. Or do you hold off for the first couple of months, just battle through however you have to do it, and then open with the beers that you really do want to make? Like, do you want to start with your best foot forward, or do you want to start with just trying to pay the bills? And I think we know the answer to that, but we're trying to work around some logistical stuff, whether we can start, brewing a little bit earlier before we get approval for the front. There's a few different things that we are working on right now, so that's something that we'll have to keep you posted on, but that is for sure the biggest challenge of this whole brewery. Is
there not like a set date, but do you have a envision in your mind when you'd like to be open?
Yeah, ASAP. But, realistically with COVID and the build and permits, et cetera, it's going to take a bit. Hopefully in the fall. Would you agree with that, Tyler? September 1st is the date that we have circled on our calendar. So circle it on your calendar.
Yeah, we'll be here. We will be here.
And in the meantime, actually a fun thing I should mention is on the weekend of May 29th, we're doing a party at the Beer Can.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
I believe it's going to be on the Saturday, so we're going to have our 2-year anniversary, our official 2-year anniversary, where we're going to be releasing a lot of cool beers and stuff we have saved that, we wanted to have at the tap room at Barnhammer, like really interesting small batch stuff, but we can't sell that here, right? So we have to get rid of it somehow.
Right.
So you might as well come chug it at a really low price.
That sounds fantastic.
And have a great time.
Love it.
Drink some Riesling human hair beer or something.
Oh, that's right up my alley.
Love it. I'm gonna drink it. I don't care.
All right, so let's get to the. I don't want to say the star of the show for everyone, but I am excited because now I get to drink some beer. So tell me a little bit about what the first run is. What's the first thing you want to tell us about, and just take us through everything about that beer that you want to tell us.
First one is our our low light table beer, a Belgian table beer is really what we tried to go with here. Meant to be left on the table while you're eating or socializing and just fill your glass. Sessionable, I guess, is what people would call it now. But it's 100% Brett, which is not really very traditional.
No, not at all.
So yeah, you're just getting all the fruitiness of the Brett coming through. Almost all the flavor is just the Brett. There's not a lot of.
Can I ask? This is going to be a dumb question, probably. What exactly is a Brett?
Brett, like the. Oh, okay, so it's a yeast.
Okay, it's yeast. Okay.
Oh,
okay. I feel good. That's what I thought. Honestly,
I knew that, you idiot.
Anytime something ends in myces, it's a yeast because it's like mycology, like mushroom.
Holy shit, we're learning something new
teachers learned
every day.
something today.
Infused as a bacteria, though.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But it's actually, and the Britanno is basically it's British fungus because the one used in a lot of brewing was actually derived from a bottle of beer that had gone bad.
Oh, okay.
Gone bad. As in
In a good way.
Yes, it wasn't
In the best way possible, right?
Yes, it's a very happy accident. So most beer is Saccharomyces.
Okay.
Britannomyces is a different
Something else.
Yeah. Species classification, one of those two.
So one thing I've always wanted to ask a brewer is this: how do you decide on an ABV for a beer, or do you even decide it? Like I know nothing.
Well, we argue about it.
Yeah, because I'm an 8%. I'm just like, if you can get it to 10, let's party. Like I want the more the better. Okay, see, like, that's me 100%. Like if we can get to 10, 12, like I love meads, for example.
Okay.
Only because half the time I get a mead, it's like a 12%, and I'm just like skipping along in sweetness and alcohol.
You're a sick man, Jordan.
It's a very different kind of drunk, mead drunk.
Yes. But how do you decide like this light?
Yeah, we actually have a story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mead story. Mead story. Then we get back to the Brett table beer. Quick mead story.
So Adam and I actually, the first beer I ever made was with Adam. We made a whole mess in my kitchen. We dumped all the beer everywhere. It was horrible. We actually threw it out because I didn't read all the way through the process, and then we had to cool it down really fast, and we failed. We threw it out. But at the same time, we got a bunch of honey and decided to make some mead.
Yeah.
So we made this mead without knowing much about anything, and then left it for maybe like 3 months. And okay, let's drink it. So had 2 other friends over. We're up on my back deck, drank this mead. Don't really know what happened. But my wife came home and we were in the basement with a sack of wrenches that we found in the back, throwing them at the fridge and then just screaming because it was the most satisfying random thing.
That's everything I hope for when I get a mead.
All of that story.
That's the pinnacle of mead drinking for me. I hope one day that can happen to me.
What are you guys doing? We're like, I don't know, try it. And she did it and she liked it too. So
And then she started just throwing wrenches at the fridge.
maybe it wasn't the mead, but yeah.
Okay, that is awesome. So, I mean, back to my original question. I love that tangent. That's we're all about the tangents. How do you decide on 4% like for the Brett table beer? Like, what got you to that point?
Well, I mean, table beers are generally sometimes even lower, down to even 3%. So I guess we decide on the style we're trying to make first, and then there's a range.
Okay.
And we decide, like for instance, with the Goza we made, we know it's not going to be something someone crushes 3 of, so we kind of go to the other end of the spectrum. We go higher than if we can. So I don't know what.
Pat is geeking out about another beer. So do we want to jump to that one because he's losing his mind, or what do you have next for us? Like
What the fuck is this? This isn't.
Okay, hold on. Not everyone's on. Pat's over here drinking beers that I haven't even had yet because he's being. I'm trying to answer. James, ask a question. You're not saying anything.
I'm taking it all in at this point.
So the next one looks like Blood Cut. Tell us a bit about that one while I chug this Blood Cut.
So this is our original beer that we made. The name came from
Another night out.
another night out, actually. Yeah,
And as did Kiss Kiss. We don't really know the background of Blood Cut's name. It just was in our brains.
That's awesome.
I think it was in my phone when I woke up. And we're like, what does that even mean?
This one's 6.5% now, and the tropical fruits like caught my eye the first time I had it completely. And as someone who's not a Brett guy, this was awesome. Like I remember getting this, and I remember being like, "Holy crap!" Like that kind of changed my thought process on Brett's after having it.
So the good thing about Brett, or one of the things that I like about it, is that you can get so many different flavors just from the yeast, and it's also a very prominent flavor. Like you taste yeast in any beer you drink, but it's usually kind of subdued. it'll interplay with other things. The Brett can stand alone almost, what you see in the low light, where it's most of the flavor. So it comes from Brett D, which I don't know what D stands for right now.
Which is fair. I mean,
Can we edit that out?
the exploration.
Can I send you a note of me saying it in like a robot voice?
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, this is a Brett diameter. Yes, it's a Brett diameter, and
Very natural, yeah.
And you know what? Nobody would know the fucking.
You literally could have made
You
something
could
up
have made
out
up.
of
Yes.
Yeah, I would say most of our listeners are going, yeah.
Yeah, really.
that
It is
one.
a diatropistes.
I was
Yes.
actually debating whether I was going to ask what a Brett was, and then I asked. I'm like, okay, thank God I was actually kind of on the right track.
That's just slowly putting everyone's ass in the jackpot, asking questions. He's there like, we're trying to figure it out. All right, it is.
I just think like what you guys are saying, like you guys just try stuff, and if it's good, you keep going. That's like the greatest technique I've ever heard. I love that.
And it's not totally.
Because how do you?
No,
how
but
do
it's
you,
like you're willing to try.
How do you
Yes.
improve, or how do you get better at something if you don't experiment? Like,
Yeah,
what do we?
that's
Then
a
what?
good point,
Then
yeah.
we're all just going in a circle and drinking the same shit and eating the same shit and doing the same shit, right?
And that is what I like about craft beer in Winnipeg. I feel like a lot of breweries do that. We're gonna try this, and if you like it, great. If not, let us know, and we'll either change it or we won't do it again.
Yeah.
And
The beer Pat was losing his mind about, I realize now I've had, and I agree. So can you please tell us about Acadia Blanc?
This is a proud moment for me.
Okay.
Because I know you hate our beer.
I never said that. Okay.
I listened to your podcast.
Adam, I'm just
I am
gonna.
the-
Adam, I'm just
listener
gonna calm
number
down.
5.
Adam,
There
I'm
we
gonna
go.
calm
Listener
down.
number
I'm
5.
calming down, Adam.
I've heard every episode.
I feel attacked. Can we go back to Guava 66? Can we go back to?
can
I
we
feel,
bring him on?
I
monthly?
feel seen.
This is the best.
I feel
chickens
seen.
I'm unfollowing Sensi.
Sensational
Guava.
guavas.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know, whatever it was. Okay, tell me then. Dunk on me right now with this Piquette.
You're drinking one of my favorite beers, for sure. Basically, it's just a really light table beer, fruiter aged. But what we did was, in the fall, I was living in Ontario for a little bit, and I met a few farmers down there that
Where in Ontario?
Toronto.
Surprised it took him this long to mention.
So usually I talk about.
As a Torontonian, this is
Okay,
my.
so
I'm
usually
very happy to hear
I
this.
start off by saying East Toronto about 6 times.
Yes.
Then I tell you about London.
Tell me what
my
street
wife
you're
worked in
on.
New
Yeah,
York.
here, you and I just talk out.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
The rest
Yeah,
of us,
how
we
was
can just
Toronto?
leave.
I didn't
Did
know
you
anybody
love
else
it?
was here.
That's just me and Adam.
Yeah. Actually, this is a pretty East Toronto location.
It is.
today.
Go Leafs, go. Am I right?
No.
Damn it!
Good.
Taping the Jets game right now. So
That's good.
I
That's
don't know
good.
why you do
We
that.
salvaged something out of
It's a loss.
But no, so yeah, it's one of my favorite beers for sure. So with some of these farmers, we ended up shipping up some grapes to us. These are organic, biodynamic, hand-picked, hand-sorted, the whole thing, shipped directly to us, which is very uncommon for a brewery from the prairies. I mean, for anybody from the prairies. I mean, we don't have any connections in BC, so we're sort of sticking with the Ontario route for now. But yeah, basically we got the grapes and they basically say that we're going to arrive, and then it's all hands on deck. We start pressing right away, all by hand, just making wine essentially, which we do have and we will release in the future once we're comfortable with it.
Sure.
It's still aging right now.
Fair.
So that's going to be fun.
For those of you at home, that was a very wry smile from Adam there.
No, I think it's Tyler made a wry smile.
Pure trash.
Delete that.
No, I'm keeping it. You can't stop me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Well, it's because I made the wine. That's probably why it's fucker.
Actually, I haven't tried the wine. I've only tried the white Piquette. That's pure trash.
Well, that's a fault. It's not.
Guys, don't fight in front of the guests, all right? Jesus.
This is so great. It's
You're
usually
making me
us who do this.
uncomfortable. All right, tell me about this
If he
Acadia
knew
Blanc.
anything about winemaking, he would know that reduction goes away with oxygen added to it, and
On September 1st, we're going to have a fight between the two owners of LowLife.
That's our grand opening.
Well, yeah, that's our grand
I know a guy.
wrestling
can
match,
get, I know a
eh?
guy can get you a wrestling
Oh,
ring. I
yeah,
know a
we
guy-
can get you a wrestling ring. We can get you.
what would your wrestling name be, Birch?
Oh, you can't put me on the spot.
I'm gonna go with Bear Boy.
Commit to wrestling. Commit to wrestling.
And mine's chamomile. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, back to the beer real quick here. So yeah, so those grapes came up to us. We pressed them right away. We had a wild night. We were in the bag. Made a little bit of wine. So with those leftover skins, we took them and we added, filtered water to them and essentially just let them steep like a tea. So that's what Piquette is basically adding water to grape skins, pressing it again, and making essentially, like the field hand worker's wine. It's a lower ABV. It's just a fun, fizzy, light drink. This one though instead of using water, we added a really light foeder-aged table beer.
Okay.
Let it soak. Let me just check the can on that one. Let that one soak for 21 days. And then we did hop this one. So after letting it steep together, essentially, we hopped it with Strata and Sabro and canned it. And I really, really like it. It's sort of like, it's a little tart. There's nothing else added to it. It's just grape skins and beer. And a little bit of hops, but yes, a little bit tart. It's bright, it's fresh, it's highly, fairly carbonated, really citrusy.
This might be the most made-up thing I ever said, but I feel it right now. Tell me if you think this is wrong. I feel like there's like little bursts happening every time I sip it. I know that sounds weird, but like the aftertaste for me, like as I let it sit, my mouth, I can keep feeling it coming back, and it's like always there, and it's like a really nice. Like the finish on it is dynamite.
So
I love it.
I'm going to tell you something. So a sommelier told me this the other day, Matthew Zacharias, who works at Dead Horse Cider now. Take a sip. No, let me tell you it first. Banana runts. Now take a sip.
Okay, now.
Banana runts?
You know that banana-shaped runt?
Yes. The hard candy.
The hard candy.
Holy shit, yeah.
Oh my shit.
Yeah.
So shout out to Matthew
There's something
Zacharias.
sitting in my mouth right now that's like, it just has like a bursty, a candy feel. It's weird. I was trying to quantify or like explain it, and I couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And now it makes sense.
Well, we're just getting started.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's getting way
All right.
weirder.
Then hold on a sec.
Chug that.
I'll finish this off. and
Reviews
we're
you
moving on.
much better when you
Okay,
drink more.
Adam, you're gonna have to talk while we chug, or Pat, now you're good, so you go.
No, Pat, we never have a problem with. He drinks real fast.
Absolutely.
Oh, the color on that!
boy.
My word, that is gorgeous.
Okay.
So
Okay, Pat, describe the color. Give me a color description.
it looks like
Sparkling wine.
sparkling wine.
I like Lambrusco.
Okay, you're gonna have to bring that back for me. It looks like what now? It looks okay. So no. It looks like grape juice at communion, like Lambrusco.
You know what? The wrestling match might be tonight. Just this attitude.
Adam, you're way out of my weight class, bud. All right, don't even come up here. Okay,
the
I
smell is
love
just-
the smell and the color of this. We had this huge discussion. Okay, I want them to weigh in on this, Pat and James. We had a massive discussion about drinking from bottle versus glass or can versus glass, and we are big. We came to the conclusion we're all glass people, right?
Yeah.
In a pinch, we'll drink out of a can, but like we want to pour it out. Do you agree? Are we talking glass every time?
Every time.
Every time.
So
Yeah.
we actually have our regular beer glass, if you've had one at Barnhammer, which we like for the blood cut, the low light, etc. But I do think a wine glass, not to sound like a total pretentious dick, like I already have, but I do think it actually brings out the flavor a little bit better. So this one you're drinking now is the Petit Pearl Piquette. Same process. This one was steeped a little bit less, 14 days. This one we didn't hop. So you take a sip, it's quite bright, it's a little dry, and then it kind of ends right away. Whereas in the white one, the hops will kind of give you a little bite at the end. Petit Pearl grapes and L'Acadia Blanc grapes are both Canadian hybrids that people don't generally make a lot of wine from them. L'Acadia Blanc a little bit more, but they're kind of blending grapes. And we decided to have a little fun with something that maybe a little really aromatic like the white one, and really kind of more tart and just beautiful color like Petit Pearl. So we've never worked with these grapes before. We think it worked out really well, and next year we'll get them again. We'll probably
Did
try
it
some new
ever?
ones.
Like I'm not a wine person. Makes me queasy. This is stunning. And I think this is the thing about a glass too, is like, what if we never poured that out? What if we just drank it from the can and just never had the chance to like gaze upon, like, the color's gorgeous. It really is. And I think it would suck if you missed that, honestly.
So would you guys, let me ask you a question. Would you prefer this in a can or in a clear bottle?
Ooh.
I think a clear bottle, see, I can't think of it that way. A clear bottle to me is like you put it on a shelf and my eyes pop to it right away.
Yeah.
I think in a can it looks like everything. Yeah, it looks like everything else. But I think in a clear bottle, I know that there's concerns about keeping it, right, as opposed to like a darker bottle. So does that kind of limit your ability to get it out in the world?
Yes, it does. I mean, one, the price point jumps way up.
Yeah.
Two,
What if you served it in here in a clear bottle? And then if you really like the presentation, and then maybe like when you put it out there, you find a way to meet in the middle, maybe like a red bottle, like something, or you could do a bottle that maybe emulates the color. I don't know. I'm just trying to help. Do you guys want me to buy in? Are you selling shares? Like I'm almost in now. I'm almost in. Reel me in, guys.
Well, I mean, that's the part of the thing is like we really want to show that. I mean, this is literally handmade, the whole thing, and it has this incredible color.
So you're gonna
And
make your own glasses from scratch. Perfect bottles from scratch.
if any brewery is doing that, it's us.
It's like I'm your average Joe, and like when I see this, and I'm drinking this.
Do you feel fancy, Pat?
I feel classy as fuck.
I know, me too. I feel like I deserve to be somewhere special.
I've never met a classy Red Sox fan.
That's true.
All right, listen here, Yankees
shut up,
fan. Let's fucking
Yankees.
calm down, okay?
It was the class of the league.
But it's just, every one of your beers so far is just nothing. Everything's different to like. You can't even put them next to each other and compare them because they're all so unique. And it just,
I can't get over the
Yeah,
color,
the color
of this.
of this
I'm
one-
staring at it. It's so
someone
beautiful.
take a picture of this.
Well,
Could the guy running the Instagram take a picture, maybe, Patrick? Could you?
Yeah.
but just in the quality of everything, right? The packaging, the product itself, you can tell that you guys don't cut corners, right? And
Good
it's-
point, James. Yeah, that's true.
And that's something that needs to be acknowledged. That's for sure.
Okay, James, follow-up question. When you decide on canning and the look of it, is there a concern about like, is there something to the fact that like maybe the more, because some people go like crazy busy with the cans. Like the cans look like Picasso came up and just shot a paintball gun at it. Or not Picasso, what's his name?
That's Picasso.
Picasso, yeah.
No, not Picasso. There's a famous painter.
Dali?
That's sure. There's an aside I'm going down. You know what's funny? I said the name of the painter yesterday like it was off the top of my head, and now I can't pull it. But is there a thought process to like the beer is like X, so the can should be like X? Like, is there something to that, or do you just try to have a cohesive brand you can run with the whole time?
That's a good question.
Tell me, Barnhammer white can guy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
So
kidding.
my wife does the design for both of them, which is
Oh
why
God damn it!
Oh,
Really,
we are
man?
not being
Did you have to
fucking invited
You
back.
have to drop me in the body bag like that. No, you know what I love about? Actually, I will say this about the Barnhammer cans. I love that it's just like one image. I think there's like something really like poignant and beautiful about the fact that it's like here's a flower, and it's just like simple and it's like pow. You know what I mean? I do really like that.
Yeah, because personally, I find some of those can designs are almost distracting. They're really nice and the colors pop and everything, but it kind of takes you away from the beer. It's almost like I feel like beer right now is so much about Instagrammability in a way. Like if like from the can to the beer.
What a
Sometimes
word.
It's like
Love that.
more about how it looks even than it tastes sometimes.
I see what you're saying. Like the presentation overshadows the beer.
Yeah,
And like I
just-
don't think it should be that way, but sometimes I think most of the world tends to be that way.
Yeah,
Right?
well, it is in general, and Instagram is such a huge deal, especially for marketing. Like we've never advertised with either of these breweries at all, and Instagram is our advertising really. So it is quite important, but we kind of wanted to lean away from that with both. So Barnhammer is extremely simple, just those icons. My wife loves drawing them, and she draws these too. So it's really, she's a designer, but she's also like she went to art school,
Nice.
so she likes to draw because that's
Yeah.
Can I ask
Got into it,
if there's a story behind the logo itself?
Oh, the like the blessed hands deal.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's
like-
sweet.
Well, because it's so from LowLife, which is kind of it has many meanings. It's like we're low lives. Life's obviously met us. It's also the culture that ferments the beer, because it's all these like, especially when we start to get into bacteria. I don't know if I should even say this, but a lot of the bacteria involved in souring beer is also stuff that makes things decay. Right. I'm not going to go much farther than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that.
So we kind of leaned into so she did the whole design concept is really about death, I guess, because of the name and everything. So it's a lot of medieval burial epithets have knights, and they're all doing that as part of the, like on the carvings and everything. So
Really?
Badass.
that's what that is.
Shit, we're gonna have to have.
See, that's great.
We're gonna have to like, holy smokes.
No, this will give the listener a different perspective of this, because I think that was going to be one of my questions was, what is LowLife's origin? Like why LowLife? But you guys have explained it, just previously here. So no, that's really cool to hear.
Yeah. So what are we drinking now here?
Pat just recoiled in the best way when he drank this. He was impressed. This is, and if I like the color of the one before, now we're like really dancing in the reds. So
You made a lot of facial expressions though, Jordan.
yes, you did see me like
Yeah.
I was questioning everything I've ever known after drinking this. So tell me more.
It will start off by saying it's not beer, right? So this is literally
That's
water.
on me for continuing to say that. Just smack me, just bonk me.
So
every
this
time I
is
say
true
beer.
Piquette, which is just water and grape skins, nothing else added, no sulfites, no anything. It's just literally water and grape.
Okay.
And
I would also like to clarify it's not wine either, because a lot of people drink it. as
So
wine
should
and
we
they
be
get
calling it
thrown
a
off.
Piquette? Like, should we be? Okay, so when we are saying this, we are drinking Piquettes. That's
Yes,
what
so
we
when
have.
the
been
MBLL
drinking.
is listening, it's not wine.
Okay,
It's Piquette.
it's a Piquette.
That's why you
Piquettes.
can't buy
Get it right, idiots. It's a Piquette.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yes, so we are the first Piquette in Manitoba, and we will be really expanding on that come this fall. So I've told Tyler we bought 4 tons of grapes last fall, and we're going to buy 10 this fall. In fact, I just had a couple of people reach out to me the other day with some more grapes, new varieties, new different things that we're going to play with. But basically, yeah, it's just water and grape skins. Just fermented together or not fermented, but soaked together for about 14 days, and then we free run it. So instead of pressing it again, we decided to just let the juice flow out. There's a little bit of residual wine juice, left over in the skins, acidity, sugar, which ferments it to a very low alcohol product. So, in maybe a 750 milliliter bottle, sometimes it's 3.8%, sometimes it's 8%, depending on, how much sugar's left over in those skins and the type of grape. But yeah, with this one, again, we just used Petite Pearl because we had them. We wanted to utilize these grapes as much as we could, upuse, something that would just be waste, right?
Right.
So from those grapes, we've made 3 different products. It started off by making a wine, making a Piquette, and then making a beer Piquette. So each one we got 3 uses out of, and we could have probably done 4, but we left it at that. And yeah, so basically all you're going to taste with this is kind of a low light wine that's going to be a little bit fizzy. So it's kind of a nice summer beverage. It's kind of an alternative to a seltzer, and you could share a bottle at lunch or share a couple cans at lunch and not get too buzzed up. And yeah, it's just kind of a fun summer beverage, and we're really proud of it. And I certainly love drinking it at home. It seems like you do as well.
All I got to say, with all the variety you guys are giving us, your servers, when they come out and serve this, are you going to make them take an exam? Because this is like
You know what? It has
intense.
a feel of like a restaurant where you go in and the servers are like, here's your special, and I've always found that to be so incredibly impressive. But I do feel like you guys are going to be kicking on that level of like the scaling of it and the knowledge will be really what draws people in here.
I get that, but I also don't want it to be too intimidating.
Right.
It's just beer.
Yeah, but-
This isn't, but I mean,
No,
this is just
no,
beer.
it's not, Adam. It's a Piquette. It's a Piquette.
See, when I say that though, I want to come in and I want to really because everything's so unique. I really want to understand what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So it's just like I find it so fascinating. I'm a teacher.
I feel
so
like we're nerding out big time.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
like,
I wonder if everyone else will think the same. I think a lot of people want to just come in here and have a good time, but the option of being able to do what Pat is saying,
as a teacher
to be
myself,
able to
coming
dance
in
on
and
it would be
learning
cool.
something from a beer is like 2 of my favorite things coming together. So
Yeah.
it's just
This is like something in all caps. Like I am to get all that you guys have told us.
And,
is awesome.
and it's different, right? Like it's its own lane of.
because it's a Piquette.
Yes,
It's a
exactly.
fucking
Well, yeah,
Piquette.
exactly.
Get it right, all right?
No, but what I'm saying is, the products that you guys are bringing and you're showing us here, it's very different from a lot of things that we've experienced in the city. And I think people in the city should be excited about something like this because it's innovative and it's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe on our opening day we'll do like a flash Piquette tattoo thing. They show up and we brand you with a Piquette sign. But
How do you guys feel about the scene in Winnipeg? Like, I'm not, asking you to go off on anyone. Not go off. That shouldn't be, but talk too much about it. But I've long said that in the before times when COVID wasn't a thing, I used to get to travel for my job, and I would go to a lot of different breweries because it was kind of a passion of mine. And I really do sustain that Winnipeg, for the amount of people it has in the breweries, has the best, in my opinion, array of breweries in Canada. It really does. So do you have an opinion on the local scene and what you've seen in the last couple of years or even longer in your experience being in it? That's a really simple question. I expect a succinct answer. Yeah, keep it under 10 words, please, okay?
we love the Winnipeg beer scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, we're a part of it.
Of course.
And, with Barnhammer, I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for Barnhammer and for Tyler. I guess I was there when we started home brewing together. So it's sort of Barnhammer.
Are you the
sort
reason
of because of
Barnhammer
me,
started? Let's talk about it.
When he did decide to start Barnhammer, just on a side note here, I thought he was crazy. I was going, what are you doing? Because at that time, there wasn't a lot of crapper. The laws had just changed, right?
Yeah.
So he was going to be essentially the first one, or, the first couple. He ended up being the first one, other than, obviously Half Pints in Fort Garry. But yeah, I thought it was a crazy thing to do, and obviously the industry is just blown up, and it's because of Winnipeggers that go out and are willing to try something new. So, whether it's an 8% IPA or whether it's a 12% Imperial Stout or whether it's a 4% lager, whatever it may be, hopefully, the market has time to try some wild and crazy stuff too. And I think that in 1 to 2 years, I think beers like this will be a lot more common in Winnipeg, for sure. I think a lot of people are kind of going this way, and if you look ahead to some other cities, I'm not going to say any, but it definitely exists there, and it's just mainstream. Right?
Well, you guys are definitely going to push the wave here. Like, I mean, I think if it's going to be successful here, like, you guys will be at the forefront of that. I mean,
if we become mainstream, we'll probably start doing something else. To be completely honest with you.
oh no,
Only longer.
we like this. No one like this. Like it enough to make a
really
living, but
bad at
not
making
enough to
money.
make them change. What's the middle ground? But yeah.
I'd like to add on kind of what you said, that I think one of the unique things about the Winnipeg beer scene is that a lot of you go to places and a lot of the breweries are very similar that open. I feel like the breweries in Winnipeg almost all filled niches right away.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of like they're not the same.
No,
Really none of
I
them?
totally agree. I totally agree.
so
We
that-
just
I
need
think
one
that
in St. Vital because for some reason no one wants to put any breweries there.
There's no buildings, but honestly, finding buildings is awful.
I can imagine.
Really?
Yeah,
really good.
And building new right now is like impossible. Like, yeah. So to even go through that must be rough.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hoping you're gonna say no, but you know what? This might be it. Is that all of them?
We have lots of more beer, but we have one more to try.
Oh man, we have one more to try. Okay, yeah, here I
There's
go.
other beers here if you guys want, but this is the Hand of Glory.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That is the most
Yes.
epic name of all
So
time.
this is a really, really, really wild one.
So the Hand of Glory, first of all, when we were looking for the name, Sable just looked up
You could smell that from across the table.
hand.
Oh man.
Basically weird hand stuff. That sounds bad.
That's fine. That
She
fits here.
googled weird hand stuff, and
I would, you know what? This is exactly the place I would hope for weird hand stuff. No, damn it!
and anyway, these things came up, and they're called Hands of Glory for some reason. I actually don't know the history of them. It's some kind of.
That's delicious.
Wasn't it if you stole something?
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Didn't you? Yeah, is this like you get your hand cut off thing? It's like that.
Glory if you.
Oh, really?
Or they punished, or you're like,
That's badass.
Oh my God.
along those lines.
Yeah, so it was just because we had the Buddha's hand in there that we wanted something hand related. We wanted weird hand stuff for it. So.
Why didn't you name the beer Weird Hand Stuff?
That's the next.
That's what the episode's
No,
gonna be
because
called.
no, the episode might be. The episode's supposed to be called Low Life, but I think we're gonna call it Weird Hand Stuff.
And we're never invited back again.
So anyway,
What
when
are
we
the
went
tasting
into
notes on? I'm so curious because I feel like thank you for the. I feel like I'm picking up.
We've pared back on what we say because of exactly what Adam said before.
It says Buddha's hand, tart, something French. Pat, read the French. I don't know the French.
Fleur de sel.
What does that mean?
That's just the kind of salt we use.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So okay, cool.
So it's the flour of salt.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't think-
Buddha's hand tastes better than I thought.
Yeah, so what we tried to do here was make basically a caricature of a Goza. We thought, let's take all the flavors that are usually in it and jack it up by about 1 million.
Did you just say a caricature
You
of
guys-
a Goza? That is
you
the
guys are
fucking greatest thing
You
I've
guys
ever
are
heard.
fantastic.
Like,
I can't believe I just met you.
like,
How did I just meet you?
it's, you know
A
what?
caricature of a Goza?
You say that, and I know exactly what the
That's
fuck
the
you're
most
talking about.
impressive.
And that's what
My
it is.
face hurts from smiling so much. God damn it. A caricature.
Told you like low life before you left.
I know.
You're like the beer.
I mean, no, you know why? You know what? You're right. I don't like the beer. I love the Piquettes and the Bretts. That's what I like, even though a Brett's a beer, but let's just overgloss that. So, no, you guys have converted me completely because this has been a great experience, and I absolutely love that.
So, in making the caricature of the Goza, we wanted to get the most possible citrus flavor. And I don't know if you're familiar with what Buddha's hand is. It
That's
looks
not
like,
a joke?
No, it looks like a.
Are you kidding?
It looks like a weird. It looks like a hand made of carrots almost.
Okay.
It's like ginger. So but what it is, the whole fruit is basically the rind, except it's not like if you bit into a lemon, you would cry. It'd be awful. This is like the flavor of the rind,
Like the
without
zest of
that.
the-
Yeah, without that crazy bitter.
Where did you guys
Flavor.
get Buddha's hand?
I came across it.
We're not
I
telling.
came across that
fuck,
it
okay.
existed.
That's
and I wanted to
wild.
make it into a beer for about 3 years, and then we finally
Holy
found
smokes.
some. We
Okay,
found
I thought that
one
was just
bucket
like,
of it.
I thought you guys were just like taking the piss by saying it had
It's
Buddha's
a
hand.
real weird fruit.
And the fun thing about it is that
It looks like a badminton.
It's a shuttlecock. That's what they
I
call
just
it.
wanted you to say shuttlecock, James, you fucking child. It does, but it's. I am appalled that it's a real thing. Like you guys just blew my mind.
it's powerful.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
It is.
incredible.
Like it literally kicks you in the ass with every sip, and like in a good way.
Yeah, and that's
unreal.
exactly what we wanted. And like this, I think this beer more than anything, as I said before, was something that we expected people to really love and really hate, and that is exactly what's happened, in a good way. So we're happy.
The Hand of Glory is one of the only ones I haven't had. I gotta say, like, I'm not making this up. That's my favorite one. I'm shocked. Like, you guys saved that for last, and I was sitting here expecting to just get punched in the face, and I did, and I love it. I love it. That's incredible.
What do you two guys think?
I
And be honest, yeah.
Everything is right up my alley. Like I've become more of a Goza fan. Goes? How do you say it? Goza?
I think it's good.
Goes
Fuck, I have no idea.
Dude, we did like a half episode
Yeah.
on this,
But no,
in a
it's just-
joking way, trying to figure out what we were like looking it up.
The more I've got into craft beer, the more I've kind of gravitated towards these kind of like funky and tart, like overly tart beers. I don't know why. And this one is just, every time you take a sip, it just hits you right in the face. And I'm always every time I come here, I'm gonna start with this one and work my way down.
No,
You're gonna go down, eh? So you're not gonna build up. You don't know, but I respect
On the
that.
menu, 'cause I'm assuming it's gonna be a top.
I had a system here.
Well, I figured this would be right. This will be at the top of my list, and I'll work my way down the list.
What's the ABV on the Hand of Glory?
5.2.
Okay, see, that puts it right. Like, if it was under 5, I would retract a little bit, but that's perfect. I think that's
So
good.
that's the thing. Goes is supposed to be 4 to 5. So
Yeah. A little bit. What do you got for me, James? I can see your I can see your wheels absolutely spinning, bud.
because I've never been a big Brett fan to begin with.
I hate all brands, even the people.
So I came in here with an open mind. I want to try this out. Like, tell me your story. And you know what? As this testing has gone out, the tasting has gone out. I mean, it's great. Hand of Glory, absolutely. That's a gem. The Piquettes, those are. I've never had any before personally, and they're interesting. And I could see a lot of people liking them in the city. First person that comes to mind is the girlfriend. She's sort of a beer drinker, more of a wine drinker. Well, let's go enjoy something similar together here. And
I think what you guys are building when this place opens is a place where people who like a little bit of everything, or they're not really beer people, but they can get on board with the Piquette. Everybody can find something they like here. And I feel like that's another unique part of
I don't
what
think
you guys
it's
are building.
exclusive to females, but my fiance is the exact same thing, James. She tries every beer and she wants to like it. Like when we go try a beer, she's like, like I can see her wanting to almost like be a part of my beer exploration. And every time I drink one of these, I'm like, this is the meeting point. Like this is where like the wine drinkers and the non-wine drinkers and the beer drinkers and the casual drinkers, like I feel like these could be everyone's thing in some, because you guys have such a nice range of like light to hand of glory, and all of it's great. But like I have to admit, through the whole interview, I was kind of thinking like, I feel like like my fiance would love this. Like I kept saying it, and I don't mean that like I love it, but I feel like it's something that her and I might agree upon, and even in the beer world, which is not something that happens often.
like to just go for it, like with something like Buddha's hand, where we all thought.
I thought it was a joke.
We didn't even know what it was, but now that we see it, you showed us what it looks like, and I mean, like that's going for it, right? Like that's something completely different that I don't know anybody else that's ever tried to do something like that, and it's good. It's something to be respected, and the product that came out of it is really good too.
Yeah, I agree.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
No
Yeah,
problem.
like we hope when you come to the tap room, it's not just like, let's just go out and have a couple beers. Hopefully it's like an experience, right?
Yeah.
And one that you can relax it, enjoy, and every time you come, it's something different or something new. Like there'll be, low light, there'll be blood kite, regular, more, bready beers, and then also be some stuff that you don't know if you're drinking wine or beer. We're just trying to blur those lines as much as possible on some stuff, right? And then there's Tyler. I mean, Tyler made this himself, this Goza, and like we just know that this will be on the menu for sure. Whether it's with Buddha's hand or another variation of it. Maybe
Don't
we'll
you dare
it.
change it from Buddha's hand.
I don't know if we can get more Buddha's hand, to be honest.
Oh,
with
you
you.
have to get more Buddha's hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, that has been this has been fantastic, and thank you so much. Our plan is to be back here when you open, because I think a curiosity for us is between now and then, we almost wanted to have you like chronicle like from this moment forward what was the experience like, and now that you're, you know, in the future, time capsule this, if you will, and you're open, like what happened from our last interview to now. But thank you so much for your time. You know, Pat, James, and I appreciate it so much, and we look forward to chatting with you guys.
And
in the near
Matt,
future.
my brother, the other member, will be extremely jealous once he hears
Yes,
this.
yes. Unfortunately, that Matt couldn't be here, but or was it fortunately? Just kidding, Matt. We love you. All right.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.